Hi authors, my name is Jennifer Carr, and I'm here to help you write more realistically through psychology. As both a marriage and family counselor, as well as a former high school AP psychology teacher, I have insider information that can help you write better stories and more relatable characters. I love drama. I love the angst and emotions that build and fall and rebuild as a story unfolds. And as badly as I know it will hurt, I like to see a good character end up the victim of betrayal. Granted, I also really appreciate a good underdog story where the victim comes out on top, or there's a hopeful resolution in the end. Regardless of my preferences, betrayal is an excellent element of good drama. So let's talk about betrayal. First, let's define it. What is betrayal? It's a violation of a person's trust or confidence, or the violation of a moral standard. Backstabbing, disloyalty, infidelity, treason, all of these are forms of betrayal. There are many stories, both fictional and non-fictional, that involve betrayal. And one of my favorite works of fiction that depicts both the motives as well as the results of betrayal is The Count of Monte Cristo. In Dantes, he's directly and intentionally betrayed by Fernand Mondego, Cadarus, and Danglars, who in turn become the objects of revenge by Dantes. Why? This has almost become a theme of all of my videos, so I apologize if this is getting repetitive, but it's important. Before you can effectively write betrayal into your story, you need to understand your character's motives. Are they driven by love? Are they driven by anger, jealousy, hatred, injustice? What motivates them to betray their victim? Looking at the example of the Count of Monte Cristo, the three backstabbers are each motivated by different things. Fernand, he's in love with Dante's fiancée. Cadarus, he's jealous of his good fortune and feels he's owed more by life. Danglars envies Dantes' early and easy success in life and is obsessed with wealth and fortune. All of these motives lead the men to team up and accuse Edmond of treason, which in turn leads him down the path of revenge. So let's go back to the definition of betrayal. A violation of a person's trust. So if you're going to create a storyline that leads to one character betraying another character, you must first give your reader a foundation of trust that's going to be broken. Then you have to decide, is your victim going to be traumatized and weakened by this betrayal, or is it going to spur them to rise up and stand up for themselves? A psychologically healthy person, they're typically able to recognize a betrayal for what it is, and they're more apt to confront or just simply withdraw from the perpetrator. Someone who has a history of trauma, who may be naive or is simply young, they will more easily fall victim to betrayal and will suffer on a greater level than their counterpart. Also, the closer the relationship between betrayer and victim will also impact how deep the wound left by the betrayal is. Recovering from betrayal is also something to consider. Edmond Dantes, he harnessed the betrayal he experienced and let it feed his need for revenge. Now, there are plenty of examples out there of betrayal leading to forgiveness, which is its own process and has its place in some stories. And each character will respond differently to betrayal because it impacts every individual differently. And if you've gotten to know your characters thoroughly, which I highly encourage you to do, you'll know their reactions more clearly. The basic responses to betrayal are shock, anger, grief, possibly isolation, or being afraid of attachments in the future, sadness, and sometimes depression. Through it all, there's a loss of the sense of being able to control feelings of trust because that trust has been ripped away from the relationship that was betrayed. Betrayal is unexpected, it's personal, it's confusing, and it hurts. So in order for your reader to feel all of those things, you need to paint a picture of who your characters are that is vivid enough to make the reader decide if they love or hate the betrayer and if they want to help the victim or if maybe he or she deserved it. Keep in mind, there are a lot of emotions involved in betrayal, and as a writer, it's your job to show your reader those emotions. This will require you to establish identities for your characters before you put them on paper. So decide if your betrayer is going to be smarmy and cunning, or if they're going to be brash and pompous, or something else entirely, and work out how that will motivate them to betray their victim. Also determine if your victim is going to be weak or strong, smart or naive, or whatever combination of traits you want them to have. Then you have to show the reader how character A is connected to character B and why a betrayal would have dire consequences. As I always say, know your motives, know your characters. Those are the two things that will make writing more realistic characters easier. I have several videos that will talk through motivations and also character identities, so be sure to go back and watch those. Follow for more, and if you want to dive deeper into any of these topics, or if you have an idea of your own, leave them in the comments and we'll make it happen.